All right, so go ahead and just let us know in the chat, who you are, where you're from, what you're looking forward to getting out of this office hours. Also, like Gabriel just mentioned, hop over to the HubSpot user group and sign up. Let us know there. You can tell us a little bit more in detail of what you're looking for in these office hours, and it'll give us a better idea of the content we can produce each bi-weekly event. So moving forward, I'll let each introduce each other. So go ahead, Gabriel, and introduce yourself.
So, hello everybody again. This is I'm Gabriel Margoglio. I'm the CEO of Nextiny Marketing. We are a diamond agency, HubSpot agency in Sarasota, Florida. We specialize in the HubSpot ecosystem. We do a lot of website designing, HubSpot CMS. We implement HubSpot. That's kind of like our part of our core business. But we specialize in integrations using HubSpot integrations in the ecosystem and video marketing. So, of course, we do inbound marketing, content marketing, and all of that. On a personal note, I am a proud father of 4 amazing kids and have an amazing wife and partner, Jackie. We run the business together and we run the family together. So all of that great. And I just recently, my 18-year-old kid just moved to college, so that I think I'm going to keep saying that forever as one of my achievements. I think it's one of my personal achievements to get him into college. So I'll put that every time. I'll say that every time, right?
That sounds good. Absolutely. Awesome. I don't know, we might have lost Isabella there, but no problem. I'll introduce myself. I'm Aaron. I'm the multimedia specialist here at Nextiny Marketing. So all video related tasks I'm going to handle, and I'm also going to be hosting these bi-weekly events, so you can look forward to seeing my face and talking about some video office marketing hours. So let's jump right into the presentation here. All right, office hours agenda. So what we're going to be covering today, we're going to highlight some HubSpot Video Marketing Study Group posts that we really like, that we've seen in the past couple of weeks. And then once we talk about those, we'll move on to some video marketing trends and updates. So just to touch a little bit more detail there, Descript is having a brand new competition. This kind of piggybacks off of the idea we talked about 2 weeks ago with their new software called Studio Sound. So I'll talk a little bit more in detail on that. Then we'll talk about some frequently asked questions we've received in the video marketing study group. Then we'll talk a little bit about our Soapbox Station, in depth about that. Moving forward, we'll talk a little bit about some new gear that was just released and how it can pertain to you. And then lastly, we can wrap it up with a Q&A. If you guys have any questions, you can throw those into the chat and we'll answer those at the end. All right, so the first post that I do want to highlight, and we only have one post this week, but I do want to highlight this one because it piggybacks off of the activity that we did from 2 weeks ago. So 2 weeks ago, we introduced an activity and it still lives on the video marketing study group. So feel free to participate in the activity. But it was an activity where we introduced audio versus video. So we had you watch a trailer on silent and then follow it up with shutting off the video and just listening to the trailer. So there's a few different ways you can go about that. But of course, you're going to have a different experience listening to just the audio versus just viewing the video. And this is one of the feedback that we received from that activity. It is Mr. Stead. He said, "I enjoy listening to the trailers with my eyes closed. My brain tried to match early scenes with each sound, and I love the different sound variations, how they all combine to give me a pleasurable listening experience." So this is really what I was going for when I introduced this activity. Typically, your imagination can fill in all of those gaps when you're listening to just the audio. But if you're visually watching with something on silent, it's a lot harder to hear all of those sounds and have your imagination fill in those sounds. So this is really just to show how important audio is in relation to video. And when you're creating videos, always focus on making sure that you're recording the highest audio quality as possible, or making sure you're adding in high quality sound effects just to enhance the video and making sure that it's 100% completed. So that's a post that I really wanted to highlight this week. Hopefully, if you hop in and add more posts, we'll have more posts to highlight. But this is definitely one that I wanted to touch this week. Now, moving forward, we're going to talk about video marketing trends and updates. And the first thing is going to be the Descript competition. So if you were here from 2 weeks ago, this is a little bit of a reiteration, but if you weren't, this is brand new. It's what's called Studio Sound. Now, this is a feature in the software called Descript. And Descript is basically a video editing platform that you can do video editing, and it's very in a unique way. It's almost like text-based. So you import a video into the software, it transcribes it, and then you edit it via almost like a Google Doc through the words. But Descript's really cool because it has a lot of audio enhancements, and Studio Sound is the brand new feature. Now, Studio Sound, it blew my mind. It blows everyone's minds that watch it. And it basically takes any audio file that doesn't sound so good and it manipulates it to make it sound very good, almost as if you were in a studio or recording a podcast quality audio. So it's really, really cool. Feel free to go check it out and learn a little bit more about it. But I want to talk about the competition because it piggyback off of our presentation from 2 weeks ago. And basically, you put in an audio file, you let Studio Sound run through it, you export it, it sounds much better, and then you can send it to the competition. So there's a few different categories in the competition you can do. There's classic, so you can take any of your old recordings or any historic recordings. Now, this is very important. Make sure you don't do any copyright infringement. Don't take anyone's video that you're not allowed. But any sort of historic recordings that's public domain, you can pull out and put it through Studio Sound and just see the enhancements that it makes. Also, take a funny sketch or skit. Humor is another category there. You could do real life. So let's say you have a podcast or any sort of just video you've created, just put it through Studio Sound and see the magic that it creates. Or it looks like general creative is kind of that category for anything else. So those are your categories that you're looking for. And then some use cases. So I wanted to talk about what you would use Studio Sound for. And there's several different uses. So the first idea that I came up with, let's say you're on a video shoot, you're recording your audio and you get back to your computer and you find that that audio is corrupted for some reason. You didn't really have any option but to use your backup recording or your camera audio. And typically that's a lot less, much lower quality. So if you run that through Studio Sound now, Studio Sound can kind of take that and enhance it, make your voice more clear, add a lot more clarity to it, more depth, and just give it that podcast sound. So obviously you don't want to lose your main audio source, but if you do, that's definitely a good backup. Let's say your settings are less than ideal. Let's say you're outside, birds are chirping, wind's going, or let's say you're just in an office place where there's just general noise, a coffee shop, anything where you just hear background noise. Record something, run it through Studio Sound, just do a test, see what happens. Typically, it'll pull out all of those external noises and you'll hear just your voice, like I mentioned, with a lot more clarity and depth. Let's say you don't own a high-end microphone. That's a lot of people and they just want to test it out. They want, something that sounds really nice, but they don't want to dish out the money to buy something that's a little bit more expensive. So run your audio through Studio Sound and just see what happens. And then lastly, test it out on some older clips. This is a good use case like we've done. Some of our older videos that we've recorded years in the past, or some of the videos that we've received from clients that maybe their audio isn't such high quality, we can run it through Studio Sound and it really does a number on it. It creates magical sound. So definitely go check it out and explore all the use cases of it because it's really helping us here at Nextiny. Now, just a side note, all submissions for that contest must be entered by September 24th. Okay, so moving on to the next thing, the FAQs that we've received lately. Where do we begin? What video do we do first? And this isn't just a frequently asked question that we just received lately. This is a question that we receive at Nextiny all the time from everyone. So where do I begin? That's a great question because you're looking at, okay, do I need to purchase a camera? Do I have a camera? Things like that. I always tell people the best camera is the one you have. That's a great quote from a videographer a long time ago. Take your phone and you can shoot video with it. So a lot of people have a cell phone, just record video with that and run with that. If you find yourself lacking the quality out of the phone, then you can start to explore the option of upgrading your equipment. But for the time being, I always recommend everyone to just start video with your phone because you have a recorder on it. Now, when it comes to actual videos, what videos should you create first? And we've talked about this a number of times, and everyone has kind of a differing opinion. And I'm going to ask Gabriel and Isabella what they think their videos are first. But in my opinion, I always tell people to create an email signature first. I think this is the best video to create because it's simple, it's easy, and it's quick. We have a full explanation video on our website showing you how to create an email signature video, but it's very simple. And what is easier than talking about yourself for about 15 seconds, right? This also, it adds so much value because now every email you send, you're putting a face to your name. You know, if you email someone that doesn't know you, now they can watch a video and get to know you, realize your personality. So email signature videos are a great place to start, and I think it adds a lot of value. Now, I want to ask Gabriel and Isabella, or do you guys have any opinions on what videos people should be creating first?
I would say, there's really not a one size fits all as far as video. So it really comes down to what are your current video goals? What would really help on the video side? Are you receiving a lot of questions from your sales team, or they're getting a lot of specific questions, a lot of repeating questions? That's somewhere that you could start, make a video answering that question, some friction in what might be your sales process, et cetera. So definitely starting there. And just like Aaron's saying, any opportunities to create videos that create a more personal connection to people you're just meeting for the first time, like that email signature video, is always a really solid place to begin, because you really are setting yourself apart from your competition and other people that might not have the best solutions for that particular client or whatever it might be. So definitely starting there is a great place. Yeah.
Awesome. I would say think about videos that you can reuse, and then there are many ways that you can do this. This is a good example. This is a webinar that is a video series that then is going to turn into a blog. I love those opportunities because then it's helping us engage live with our audience from different places, from the HubSpot community, from the HubSpot user group. But then it also becomes a lead generation opportunity with a landing page on our website as a video series, which engages with potential clients of us. We can invite our current clients to learn more, so it keeps them engaged. And then the blog helps with SEO. So look at all the different activities that I'm just by mentioning in 2 seconds from one little video that we're creating today, from half an hour in here. So those are the opportunities that I love, when you can create a video that is going to help your sales team explain a feature or something like that related to your product or service. And that video could also be used on a marketing email, and that also could live in your knowledge base. That is a huge win.
Absolutely. That's awesome input. Thank you so much for that. All right, moving forward here. Another FAQ we receive is, what camera do I invest in? So as I just talked about, the best camera is the one you have. So always pull out your phone, test some video, shoot some video, see if you like that, right? If the quality is just not there, you can always start to explore options and to invest into a video specific camera, but use the one you have, definitely. All right, and kind of compounding off that, the Soapbox Station is a great place to start with video. So talking about the Soapbox Station, it's kind of an all-in-one station where you can plug it into your computer and you can use it for a multitude of options. So you can shoot video with it. Obviously, it has the camera that you can detach, so you can take it out in the field and record B-roll shots. Then you can bring it back in, plug it all in, and with one USB, you plug it into your computer and you can use it like this, for example, as a webinar camera. So there's a number of different things you can do with the Soapbox Stations. And we're going to talk about the different options that it comes with in regards to your camera, all your video needs, your microphone, so all of your audio needs, and then lighting. So first, about the camera options on the Soapbox Station, a number of people start with a webcam. This is very nice. It's kind of your entry-level point in video. Now, most people have a webcam on their laptop, so this is kind of falling off in popularity, obviously, because you have a built-in one. If you're going to buy a separated webcam, make sure it's a little higher quality than the current built-in one of your laptop, because you're going to find that there's not a lot of more uses on top of that. But let's say you want to take it a step further, as I just talked about. You can get a mirrorless camera or a DSLR. Now, these will plug directly into your computer and you can use them as a camera, like as right now. as we're doing this event, or you can pull it off of the Soapbox Station and, like I mentioned, take it out in the field, record all your B-roll to complete your video. There's a number of different options for the mirrorless and DSLR cameras. So Sony, Canon, and Panasonic are just some popular brands, but there are a plethora of cameras out there to explore. And moving on to your audio options and your microphones, there are 3 separate microphones that you can use for the Soapbox Station, and one is going to be the USB mic. Now, you can see in my video, that's what I'm using here. This is the Blue Yeti, and it sounds pretty good. I hopefully sound pretty good. So this is a great option for the Soapbox Station. Now, moving on, you can do the shotgun microphone. This has an advantage because you can attach it to your camera, and then when you're ready to go outside and record someone outside, you can keep it on the camera and keep going. So the USB microphone's a little bit limited in that regard. You can't take it out with you, where the shotgun mic you can. But the difference is the USB microphone, you can change it, you can put it a little bit closer to you. You can see it's very close to me. But with the shotgun microphone, it's stagnant. It's on top of the camera. So if your camera's 6 feet away from you, you're going to get a little bit of audio quality loss when speaking. So that's just to take in consideration what's the best value to you. And then lastly, you have the lavalier microphone. So as you can see there, it's just a cabled microphone. It'll attach to someone's shirt. Typically, you put it very close to them, attach it to them, slide the cable underneath so it's hidden, and it'll attach directly to the camera. So of course, you're restricted to the cable length, but they have plenty of different lengths you can do. There's also wireless lavalier microphones you can explore. So there's a number of different microphones that you can explore when using the Soapbox Station.
You can also connect it to your phone, right?
Yeah, you can.
Sound.
That's correct. Yeah, you can typically lavalier microphones, as long as it has that 1/4-inch jack on your phone, you can plug it right in. They also make phone-specific lavalier microphones. So, you know, the iPhones now only have a lightning port, so they make lavalier microphones with lightning ports as well. All right, and then last is going to be your lighting options. So this is pretty standard. Your LED panels are kind of the new normal when it comes to lighting. So as video has kind of evolved, it used to be, you know, those lights, the bulbs and everything. We don't mess with that anymore. We just go straight LED, battery powered. So they're very easy, very nice to use. You can change typically the color temperature on those. So if you're in an environment that's a little more yellow or orange versus blue or white, you can adjust that coloring. And then of course, it typically has an intensity filter on it as well. Now, let's say you don't have any lights. You don't want to use LED lights. It's just too big, unfeasible to use. You can use natural lighting. So always try to frame your angle in a way where you have a window or a doorway that's having light flood into you. So my current scenario right now, I don't have any artificial lighting, but I do have a window that sits right in front of me and it's kind of filling all that light in. So it's a very nice option. If you don't have any LEDs or artificial lights, definitely take advantage of natural lighting. All right, so this is some activity time. Now, 2 weeks ago, we took a few minutes and let you guys do the activity. We're just going to tell you about it and move forward. This is in the HubSpot user group, so definitely go over there and click the link, sign up, and then fill it out. We're asking, what's the next video you plan on creating and why? So head over to that thread. It's already an active thread that has a number of responses, so you can kind of sort through, read everyone's responses, get a good idea of what they're creating, where they're starting, and then come up with a solution yourself. Come up with your first video or your next video that you're planning on creating. How deep are you going to go, and why are you creating that video? We want to hear from you so we can get all the feedback and move forward with the office hours. Okay.
Share that in a second. Make sure that you copy paste that link or you click on it so you have it open. Engage with us. Again, what this is as part of what we're doing every couple of weeks and also these events, we're also bringing people back to the community so the conversation doesn't stop here today. And you can also help other people. Other people can jump in the conversation, give you ideas. And we always monitor those posts. So we're always trying to help as many people as possible in the community.
All right, so this next section, we're going to talk about new gear releases. And this is from one specific company. They've released 2 products in the past month that I feel like you can kind of compound together and have a full video package of equipment. So it's very interesting. And you might think that this first one is a little bit daunting, but I'm going to try to ease your mind a little bit on this. So as you see there in the picture, there's a drone. And the first thing people think is a drone that's very high level. I'm not going to be able to operate that, but I can assure you that they have become easier than ever to operate. Now, before I talk about drones at all, make sure if you're in the United States, your FAA laws, make sure you follow those. And if you're not in the United States, check your local or your country's aeronautics rules, whatever it may be, and just make sure that you're operating it safely and legally. That's always number one. But once you're good to go, here in the US, you can fly really anywhere that's not near an airport. It'll actually tell you in the system where you can and cannot fly and won't even let you fly where you can't. So they're pretty safe in that regard. But I want to talk specifically about this drone. This is the Dji Mini Se. This was just released a couple weeks ago. And as you can see, it's tiny. It fits in the palm of your hand. It's about the same size as a larger cell phone. 30-minute flight time. That's really nice now. Drones are kind of advancing with that, and 30 minutes kind of the new norm. So that's really good. But I want to talk about the easeability of flying this thing and getting video shots, because there's visual sensors on it and there's GPS lock. So basically, if you're flying this thing and you don't move it, if you lift it up in the air and you let go of the controller, it's not going to fall out of the sky. It'll stay put right there. If wind comes and tries to push it one way, GPS will stop it in the other way, and it'll hold still in the air in its position. So the big thing is these are getting much easier to operate, and drones add so much production value to all of your videos. So at a price point of $300 to get in, looking at a pretty good option for aerial shots. Now, combining off of the drone, I want to talk about the features of the drone before I get into the next product. So there's a few things. You click one button and it'll do that feature. So you can see let me make this bigger here. There's what's called a droney. So you can kind of capture yourself. I assume that's drone selfie. Rocket, like a rocket ship, you can do a circle around you or a helix around. This is super cool. All you do is within the application, select yourself, click go, and it'll automatically fly. So we're at the point now where drones are basically becoming completely autonomous, and you click one button and it'll follow you. So really cool stuff in the video release world. But I want to talk about this product to kind of compound with the drone here. If I can move forward from this video. There we go. Okay, so this is the DJI OM5. Used to be called the Osmo Mobile, so I assume they're just kind of shortening it there. But this kind of compounds with the drone, because with these 2 pieces of equipment, you can kind of have a full camera bag, if you will. So the OM takes your cell phone and it stabilizes everything. So you can get all of those really interesting gimbal shots, the walking shots, but just also tripod shot. This thing has a little kickstand it comes with. You can set it on the desk and it'll stay completely still. So you can record yourself doing a talking head shot and still capture something very smooth. But like I said, take it out in the field, walk around, get all those moving shots. And between a drone and this, you can capture anything and complete basically any video that you're looking to create. Now, something that's really interesting, and I want to talk about it because, this is just talking about video gear releases. The OM introduces this new feature called shot guides. And shot guides is something that's very new to me and very new just in general. And what it does is it has an entire library of video clips that's just different settings and scenarios, and people are doing whatever it may be in it. So it'll actually recognize the scenario and scene that you're in. So let's say you're capturing someone walking on the beach. You can shoot that clip. It'll recognize the setting and then show you a number of different clips that are a little bit more cinematic. And it'll put a transparent overlay on your screen so you can emulate that shot. So I don't know if that's plagiarism or copying or if we're going too far with features, but that is very interesting. And we will have to monitor to see where that's going in the future. So just a little caveat to, keep in and just keep in consideration and watch your eyes to see where that technology goes.
It looks like a lot of these companies are automating a lot of this, and it's getting easier and easier. So just keep an eye on those things, because it used to be a lot harder 10 years ago. It got way easier 5 years ago. It got way, way easier a year ago. And now anybody can just put their iPhone 12 or whatever you have and have incredible quality camera, fly a drone, do amazing shots, and then let the software do the work. So, of course, there's so much more than that, but things are getting easier. So this is, again, demystifying video production, demystifying video and video marketing for everybody with software and hardware options out there.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then on top of that, you can see there, shot guides plus automated editor. Now, this is something I'm going to talk to a little bit more detail next month in our next office hours. But an automated editor, we're seeing a lot more in these larger video companies. So DJI is introducing it, GoPro's introducing it. And what they're doing is they're basically taking all the video clips that you've captured that day or at that scene, and it's automatically editing. It's taking AI software and determining what's the best clips or what's the best cutting points of your clips and cutting it together to create an entire sequence for you. So it's getting better. They've had this now for about 2 years, and 2 years ago it wasn't good, and it's getting a lot better. So we just need to monitor all this autonomous editing stuff and just see where it's going, because it's very exciting. Okay. And that concludes the presentation overall. We want to open it up now to a Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave your questions in the chat and we will answer them. If you don't have any questions, we definitely want you to go over to the HubSpot Marketing Study Group. Make sure you sign up, leave us questions there. You can be a lot more elaborate there as well. So we're very active in there. So if you ask any questions, we'll hop in, we'll answer them, hopefully provide you a solution. But yeah, thank you so much for attending our office hours.
So David Lane actually asked the question, a great question. How do you measure ROI with video? Of course, first of all, I shared on the chat pane that we have an event for that. We have a measuring success of your video marketing efforts. I'm going to actually share that event again on the chat pane. So register for that event if you have more questions about that. And of course, you can ask us in the HubSpot community and the video marketing study group. But what we were talking about is, how do you connect the video when you're measuring success with ads or measuring success with your campaigns? And one of the things I said is, you can measure success on the ads, connecting your HubSpot account with your Google Ads account, whatever ads you're using. And also if you're using, Databox, for example, and you're using CallRail to track calls. For example, one of the things that we've seen is that if it's not coming to your website and someone's calling you directly, that part of the ad, you won't be tracking HubSpot. So if we're using CallRail, HubSpot, and Google Ads, for example, we can track the ROI of all those things and then create a data box board that shows the ROI on all of those efforts per campaign, per different things. So yes, we can get the ROI on the ads campaign, but now if we want to go further, first of all, by the way, you can embed that report from Databox inside HubSpot, because the HubSpot Databox integration allows you to do that, and you can get all your numbers inside HubSpot. But to take it further is, how do you measure success on the specific videos? Of course, you would have to, first of all, connect your video hosting if you're using Wistia and integrate it into HubSpot, and you can get more layers of complexity there. You can create lists of leads or customers that have watched video or haven't watched video and compare those. We have a case study about that. But also you can go ad to ad, or you can see which ads are turning visitors into leads and turning leads into customers. It is more complex than that. You can't just assign ROI to a video, because the video is just part of the journey. Yes, a video ad might be more successful for your campaign, and you can see that if you're comparing 2-3 types of ads. You have a picture, you have text, and you have video, for example. You can compare that. But that video bringing more people to your site, or that ad generating more leads, doesn't necessarily mean that the video generated that revenue. you have to understand that video is part of the journey, and usually part of the whole journey of someone becoming from someone doing research to becoming a client. But you cannot assign the ROI to the video specifically. So that's always a challenge. And of course, we can track more and connect more and create more lists and create more reports to try to figure those things out. You can run A/B tests with ads, with video, without video, or A/B test with ads that have different videos, and try to get to the bottom of those. But these are just some of the many things we can do to start getting a handle of how to measure success on video. On that event, we're going to share a lot more how we track video, not only granular like what we were talking about, but also campaign wise. You can understand if videos are creating an impact overall. And of course, you have to understand that video does not only creates an impact on the marketing side of things, but then sales can use them, customer service can use them. So video creates an impact in the whole organization there. Any other questions, guys? I think we're good.
Yep. Excellent. All right. Thank you guys so much for attending, and hopefully make sure you register for our next events, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.
Thanks, everybody.